Hi, I just want to show you how to use the butt player and a mixer through a USB audio interface into your computer. So if we look at the computer like a swimming pool, your USB is like your pump going to your mixer, which mixes all your chemicals, and it goes back to your computer. So there'll be your pump there, and it goes back into your computer. So I use my mixer. It's an Behringer XENYX 802, and I have a Behringer. I don't know why, it's just had to be Behringer, I should say. It's called a Guitar Link, which is an audio interface. It's usually used for guitars, but I actually use this for my audio interface. As you can see on the back there, there's the white USB plug that plugs into the computer. Okay, you only need the one plug into the computer, comes out to the interface through that cable there, and then goes from there off to the mixer. There it is, plugged in the back. You can see it goes into there. Now with the USB, you'll see that it actually has the two plugs, the headphone plug, which goes to the mixer, and then you've got the guitar plug, which comes back from the mixer. If you look on the plug there, you'll see it's got two black bands on it. That means it's a stereo plug. If it's got one black band, it's a mono plug. So you got to make sure that you have the two black bands, otherwise you're only going to get the sound from one speaker or going into one channel on your mixer. Okay, and same with the guitar one. It comes back, it's actually stereo as well. Now that goes into, I put it into a channel which has a left and a right, so it splits into two separate. It's a bit bright, that light, so I'll put my finger over it. You got left and right, comes from that one stereo plug. That way you can hear it in left and right. And then if I record, I put it into there, but that's a completely different setup. And then I use those two buttons there to control whether it's going to go all sound coming back to the computer or just my voice coming back to the computer. Now we've got these two plugs here. They go back to the guitar plug audio interface, and you'll see that on the plug there it's stereo as well. So you've got the two black bands. That means it's got two channels. And let me just plug that in, and then that goes back to the computer through the USB plug. Now you've got a level, which is high or low. You keep it on low because if you have it on high, it'll actually blow out your sound. And on the other side, you've got another sound going from the computer into the mixer, which is really handy. It means you're able to adjust the sound. Don't mind you see it gets all dirty from sitting behind the computer. Now you got stereo there. And then you can adjust your sound here. So you don't have to. You see the green lights going up and down. That's because I'm adjusting the sound with the mixer rather than using the USB. And you see on the USB, if I do too high, the red light goes on. And if I turn it right up, you'll see on there that the lights will go up to red as well. No, yellow, but red, definitely red there. And on here, on butt player, you see it's up into the red, which means it's clipping. It's way too high. Hot, they call it too hot. And you just got to make sure it stays in the green. It can go into the yellow sometimes, but it's best to just stay in green. And you can adjust it with that one there. As I said, those two plugs there. If you use those two plugs, you can't control the volume through the channel 5 and 6. You have to adjust it on the computer, which is a pain in the butt because you really want to be able to just sit there and play with it. But I use GarageBand, and I can adjust the sound in there. Alright, and that little plug at the back is my headphone plug, which is not plugged in. Okay, and then it goes back to there through these cables. Now I've also got my other sound, like my microphone, which is in channel 1, my acoustic, there's the microphone there, and the acoustic guitar and the electric guitar. Okay, so that one goes from my guitar over here and into my effects. I have all effects there, and then that goes from the effects, from the guitar to the effects, and then over to the mixer, and that goes into channel 3, just in a mono. And there's the acoustic guitar. It's a TC Helicon. It's actually got microphone and acoustic. The acoustic is in channel 2, and then you go microphone, goes into the TC Helicon as well, and it goes into channel 1. And that's your 4 channels. So you got your mic, guitars, and then your sound coming from the computer, which is in channel 5 and 6. And then it gets mixed up, and then goes back out through the audio into interface, into the input, and through your butt player. Now I'll explain the butt player on the next video. Alright, I'll do that now. Okay, here we are looking at the butt player. That's this one here. Now what this does, obviously you can download it, SourceForge, and just type in butt player. You want to look at the settings. This is probably the most important thing. First of all, as I said, with the USB, because you're going into through USB, you don't want to be using the internal microphone. You want to be using the USB audio codec to plug into your computer. I'm using the Mac, so on the Mac you just click on the system preferences, and then the little speaker, which is there, sound, and that brings up that. And then you got your input is a USB. Make sure your output is also set to USB. Okay, and that'll get your sound working on into the computer. You can see that input there is working. I've got no sound going out at the moment. Now on the butt player, you'll see you've got your record, stop, and play buttons, and this is your volume, so you can get louder and quieter. And if you get stuck, you just double click that and it'll go back to 0, which is your average sound, input sound. Plus 24 is adding sound to it, and minus 24 is taking sound away from it. Now what you can actually do is, if you're doing a podcast or any sort of show online, you can click while you're clicking the play button, you can actually click a record button at the same time, and you can record what you're actually playing. Now to stop the recording but keep playing, you just click the record button again, and it'll bring up. I'll actually show you. I'll go here. Okay, and now, oops, did I save it? Keep forgetting whether I saved it or not. So you start playing, and it'll show you that it's playing. If it says connecting, it means someone else is using the stream, and then you can start recording, and then stop recording, and it says, do you want to stop recording? Yes, but it's still playing, so it doesn't affect the actual playing while you record. So you can start recording parts of something. You don't have to have the whole thing recorded. Now I'll stop that. To set up, I'll start from right to left on the tabs, because these are the first important ones. Your main thing again is to make sure that this is the same here as it is in your sounds. So as I showed you before, you wanted to select USB audio codec. You want to make sure that's the same if you're using the USB input as I showed you before. Then what you're doing here is you're actually creating a stream. So you just name it whatever you like, and then you put in a stream name and the port number and the password, and that's all you need. And then once you press play, what you need to do if you want people to listen to it is to actually grab this here and that and give it to whoever, put it online as a link, and whoever clicks on it will be able to hear your stream. And what it does is it opens up a page, just like a normal browser page. Okay, and then they press play. Now with this stream, you want to make sure your bit rate and your sample rate is around about CD. That's CD quality, 96 kilobits, and sample rate. A lot of people get blown away and they go, "Oh, 320, yeah, I'll do that," and I go up to 48 kilohertz, hertz, yeah, kilohertz. But you don't need to do that if you're streaming, because what will happen is if you do that is you'll have dropouts. So you'll be talking and it'll drop and then it'll try and catch up and it keeps on cutting out because it's buffering. So you're best to have it lower where audio is not affected. Now CDs, sample rate and bit rate is generally 96 kilobits and 44 100 hertz. So do that because that's your CD quality. Highest I'd go would be 128, and I'd only do 48 kilohertz is if I was sampling something to put into a recording, because that way at least you know that it's the best quality for sample rate. But for streaming, just do 96 and 44 1. Recording just tells you where it's recording to. That's going to be a recording file that goes to your desktop, and that's your bit rate and your sample rate. And you see, I put my sample rate to 48. This is nothing. That's just the color. Doesn't matter. And yeah, that's it. That's how you stream with Butt Player using your mixer and an audio interface. I hope that helps you. If you need any more example, just let me know.